This won't be nearly as in-depth as my Lost Judgment video, but I wanted to follow up on the Kaito Files DLC. This DLC takes place after Lost Judgment main game, and you play as Kaito, Yagami's partner. The story on this is pretty good. Some guy asked Kaito to help him find his wife, and it turns out the dude's wife is Kaito's old girlfriend from years ago. Not only has she gone missing, but she had a son that was born right around the time Kaito and the girl broke up. Could this be his son? Ooh, mystery. The story moves very quickly, but it was pretty interesting. The ending to this actually did something I wasn't expecting that could potentially have lasting effects on the future of the Judgment games. Although I hope they don't fuck it up with another, I go to America now, become great detective. The combat is... yeah, it sure is. I don't know if it's because of how amazing the combat was in Lost Judgment, or if the fighting style was actually not that good, but I really did not like the combat in this game. Kaito has a few fighting styles, but all of them didn't feel that great to play with. You get upgrades to the fighting styles, and there was definitely some cool moves, but it gets very repetitive very quickly. You can beat this whole game in about 7 hours, so I can't expect much, but I definitely feel like the combat was kind of weak. Kaito also has multiple primal senses, kind of like Yagami's detective sense. Kaito can sniff, listen, and focus. Aside from the main story, you'll hear a cat meow, or Kaito will mention that he can smell something. You then look around, using one of Kaito's primal senses, to find whatever it is. You get an upgrade that will give you a better idea of where something is on the map, and this should definitely be the first upgrade you buy. I found almost all the collectibles just by running around the map with this upgrade. It makes it so much easier to find everything. Speaking of finding things, Kaito finds cats, memories, and Yakuza family crests around town. You need to collect all of them to unlock certain upgrades. I think one of the moves you can unlock is similar to a tiger drop. Maybe I just suck, but I found the timing of this to be really frustrating. The timing was very hard. One cool thing about this game is if you want to get all the upgrades for your fighting styles, you don't really have to grind at all. The game gives you more than enough experience to buy every upgrade. The last thing to mention is the closest thing this game has to an Amon fight. You get an item, and when you equip it, these masked dudes start challenging you to fights around town. There are 3 levels of these dudes: easy, medium, and hard. The easy one will always show up first, and once you beat medium and hard, it goes back down to easy. All of the encounters are random throughout town, but unlike some of the fights in other games, these dudes show up right away all over town, so you won't be waiting long. After you beat all 3 variants and buy all the upgrades, you are challenged to fight the final masked fighter. This is a really hard fight, but unlike Lost Judgment's Amon fight, it's not a complete mess. I actually enjoyed this fight, and it's definitely difficult, but it's still fun. To complete this game, you basically need to find all the collectibles, unlock all your abilities, fight the masked fighter, and beat the game. And the reward for this is actually really cool. Check it out.
Oh, by the way,
go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you don't get anything for completing it, as usual. Overall though, this game is definitely worth it. The story alone is worth it. They could have added a couple side stories, but I still felt like this DLC was worth the price tag. Just seems like a bit of a waste to have all these moves and have a different character to play as, yet there's not much to do other than the main story. But this was still a fun DLC. One other thing to mention is Yagami isn't in the game. You know, the main character from the game you're playing. Yagami does talk to Kaito, but it's all through text. He conveniently left town at the beginning of the game to go fight a bear or something. I'm not joking. Kaito wakes up in the hospital at one point and everyone's like, "Oh, Yagami came to see you. He just left. You just missed him." So yeah, don't expect to see Yagami in the DLC. Most of the other characters are in the DLC, just not Yagami. Anyways, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say this game is pretty good. You should probably play it. Okay, bye.